sharp, jarring impact to her back stole the breath from Elara's lungs, a strangled cry escaping her lips. The world tilted. The asphalt of the parking lot lunged towards her. Fragile, colourful pastries, bought for the festive table, exploded across the grey pavement, a bright, meaningless splatter. Pain lanced through her bruised shoulder. Who throws themselves under a car like that? Are you all right? God, I didn't see you. A startled man's figure, having jumped out from behind the wheel of a black sedan, bent over her. He helped her up. Her head spun. Elara stumbled back, fixing him with a furious glare. Did you buy your license? Or just find it? You almost ran right over me. The man, dishevelled and worried, lowered his voice. I'm sorry, it was my fault. Absolutely. Let me give you a ride. I'll pick everything up. He knelt down, trying to salvage what was left of the dessert. Elara, catching her breath, realised she had stepped off the sidewalk herself, lost in thought about her 40th birthday. All right. I wasn't exactly paying attention either. My mind was elsewhere. If you could give me a lift, I'd appreciate it. Caleb! He extended a hand, on which was a trace of pink frosting. Elara! She allowed herself a weak smile. On the way to her house, they started talking. Your husband is a lucky man, Caleb remarked, to have a woman like you by his side. My wife left me, though, with our daughter, so it's just the two of us. Do you have children? Elara's face turned to stone. The topic of children was a raw nerve she allowed no one to touch. No children. We're here. Thank you. The car stopped by the wrought iron gates, behind which stood a large, stark and cold house. Elara, I'm sorry if I was tactless, Caleb said, seeing the change in her face. No, I'm sorry. Nerves. And happy birthday, he added as she was getting out. I hope your dreams come true. Elara was hastily setting the table with only minutes to spare before the guests arrived. Her husband, Adrian, wasn't answering his phone. She sighed heavily. For the past few months he had been consumed by work, citing a critically important project, and any questions were met with icy irritation. The doorbell rang. Beaming Anya and Leo, her only true friends since college, stood at the door. Elara, you're a witch! You look 25 forever, Anya exclaimed, handing her a huge bouquet of peonies. And where's our resident workaholic? You know Adrian. Projects, meetings, business. Elara's voice sounded hollow. I don't understand how you tolerate this gilded cage. Anya lowered her voice. Leo is actually looking for a lead architect. You were the genius of our year. Adrian would be against it, Elara replied quietly. He's so selfish, Anya couldn't help but say. He's turned you into a pretty housewife, while he's off God knows where. Darling, I'm so happy to see you. Please come to the table. Elara changed the subject, leading her friends into the living room. Adrian arrived late in the evening when the guests were already reminiscing about funny stories from the past. He was serious, and his smile was purely for show. Adrian, couldn't you have been on time just for tonight? And where are the flowers for the birthday girl? Anya couldn't hold back. Nice to see you. Work. He cut her off, making it clear he didn't need lectures. Elara, happy birthday. He handed her a velvet box. Inside, nestled on a cushion, lay a cold, soulless diamond pendant, another exhibit for the mausoleum of their marriage. The evening was ruined. His phone's constant notifications killed any chance of conversation. When her friends left, the silence in the house became deafening. Elara cleared the table. Adrian was glued to his smartphone screen. Adrian! Her voice trembled. You're here, but you're not. What's going on? Elara, don't start. I'm working. She silently turned and went into the bedroom, fighting back sobs. Even in this huge house, married, she was unbearably lonely. In the morning, she woke up alone. Anxious foreboding tightened her chest. Peeking into the slightly open office door, she saw Adrian sleeping on the sofa, covered by his jacket. Later, in the living room, he sat with a cup of coffee, staring out the window. You're acting strange. Are you in trouble? We need to talk. His voice was devoid of emotion. Yes, I wanted to too. I've decided to go back to work. Elara, I'm leaving. I'm having a child. With another woman. The words pierced her heart like shards of ice. The world swam before her eyes. She swayed, grabbing onto a chair. How long? What difference does it make? I found out about the pregnancy yesterday. Thank you for telling me. Tears streamed from her eyes. All right. Let's not have hysterics. I'm 40 years old, Elara. All our friends have grown children. And what do we have? He raised his voice. You don't get to reproach me. You know how much treatment I went through. Stop this performance. Thousands of people get divorced. I'm going to have a son. I'll finally be happy. We'll discuss the details this evening. He left, slamming the door. Elara collapsed onto the floor, gasping for breath, overwhelmed by pain and humiliation. He decided to go straight to her, to Veronica, to tell her that the wall had collapsed. Opening the door to the rented apartment with his key, he found her packing things into a huge suitcase. Honey, are we going somewhere? He tried to smile. Veronica, young and predatorily beautiful, wrapped her arms around his neck. Yes, darling. We're going to your beautiful country house, where your ex is lounging around. The baby and I need some fresh air. Honey, I can't just kick her out. I have to buy her an apartment. I don't want to understand anything. There are 3 of us now, and she's alone in a mansion. She dramatically clutched her stomach. Okay, don't worry, you're right. Elara sat on the sofa, numb. An incoming call made her jump. Adrian, she answered, but a lump in her throat wouldn't let her say a word. Listen, I found an apartment for you. You need to take a look. She hung up. Such matters aren't settled over the phone. In the evening he returned, irritated. What's with the childish games? You hung up on me. You found an apartment, then you move into it. And I'm staying in my house. You can sell it and we'll split the money. This house is registered under my mother's name, if you've forgotten. And it's mortgaged. Brilliant, you planned it all out, didn't you? And the fact that I sold my apartment and invested every penny I had in this house. Do you remember that? I remember everything. That's why I found you an apartment. Go look at it, and we'll finalise the divorce. Live here if you want, but remember, you pay for everything in this life. Everything. The next day she went to see the apartment. Spacious, bright, in a new building. But impersonal. It couldn't compare to the home she had poured her soul into. She only packed her things. As she waited for a taxi, she appeared at the door. Veronica, about 20 years younger, confident, with a sharp smile. Adrian, darling, what's she doing here? Her voice purred. Elara straightened up. I, my dear, am in my own home, and still your lover's legal wife. Your presence here, however, is an interesting question. She's not some girl. She's the mother of my son. Elara, stop it! Adrian intervened. Oh, Adrian, you never were a good judge of character. Look at her. She has gold digger written all over her. Veronica immediately clutched her stomach. Elara laughed. A born actress. I'm sure the surprises in your life are just beginning. The taxi arrived. She rolled her suitcases towards the exit. Adrian watched her go, and a knot of unease tightened in his chest. But Veronica immediately began complaining about pain, and he turned his attention to her. In the taxi, Elara let the tears flow. I'm sorry, she said to the driver, an elderly man with kind eyes. My husband brought his pregnant mistress home. Idiot, the driver said simply. How could anyone trade a woman like you? My dear, you're only 40. It's time to live. Trust an old man. Very soon you'll look back on this and laugh, and he'll come crawling back. The question is, will you even want him? His words became a lifeline for her. For the first month, she set up her new life. Leo hired her for his architecture firm without hesitation. The young team welcomed her warmly, and when she received her first salary in many years, she felt truly free. One day she stayed late, an urgent project the firm was in danger of losing. Elara, drawing on all her expertise, found a brilliant solution and saved the day. Stepping out of the office, she shivered in the biting wind. The road was empty. She stepped onto the street. The bright glare of headlights blinded her, and a moment later, a strong shove knocked her off her feet. "Are you crazy? Are you trying to get yourself killed?" a man's voice shouted. "You're the one who's crazy. Watch where you're going." "An old acquaintance," a chuckle sounded in the voice. "Still getting into trouble? Give me your hand." The headlights were blinding, but the voice sounded familiar. "I have a client presentation tomorrow, and you've just ruined my shoulder," she said reproachfully. "Get in the car. I'll give you a ride. Or get out of the way. I'm in a hurry." She sank into the passenger seat. The driver turned around. "You, Caleb?" "Yeah, and you're Elara." They both laughed. "Imagine that, getting hit by the same car again." "My address has changed," she said, a sad smile touching her lips. "You could say I live on Truth Street now." "We're neighbours," he said, surprised. "I live across the street." On the way, she couldn't help herself. She told him everything. About the betrayal, about the divorce. They drove the rest of the way in silence. "I hope we meet again," he said, at her building entrance. Just under different circumstances. She fell asleep towards morning, thinking of him. The next day began with a catastrophe. She overslept. Rushing out onto the street, she mentally cursed herself for not calling a taxi. "Morning, neighbour," a familiar voice called from behind her. "Caleb, you have to help me. I'm running late for a really important meeting." "Only on one condition," he smiled. "We switched to first names." "Anything, let's go!" Bursting into Leo's office, she barely managed to catch her breath. "I made it! Leo, look! I solved the flooding problem." She quickly sketched on the plan, explaining her solution. Leo looked at her with admiration. "Elara, you're a genius! The client will be here any minute." The door opened. Caleb walked in. "What a pleasant surprise," he smiled. "It seems I'm the demanding client." Leo, initially tense, relaxed upon seeing their friendly dynamic. The negotiations went brilliantly. Caleb was impressed by her professionalism. "Elara, I'd like to invite you to the site tomorrow," he said. "We can discuss the details." All day she felt like she was flying. In the evening, Leo told her, "Your eyes are sparkling. Don't miss your chance. Fate doesn't give it to everyone." In the morning, Caleb was late. Elara was starting to get annoyed when he appeared, looking worried. "Sorry, my daughter's sick. She has a fever. The trip is off." "Lyra, what's wrong with her?" she asked, concerned. "I need to go to the pharmacy. I don't want to leave her alone." "How about this? You go home, and I'll go to the pharmacy. Give me your apartment number. I'll bring everything." 15 minutes later, she stood at his door with a bag of medicine and fruit. The apartment was modest but cosy. While Lyra slept, they drank tea. Caleb explained that the girl had congenital asthma, and the doctors advised moving out of the city. That's why he had started building the house. He turned out to be a car mechanic who, at heart, was a woodworking specialist and dreamed of starting his own business near their future home. Elara listened to him, captivated. She hadn't met such sincere and grounded people before. Just then, a sleepy girl came into the kitchen. "Daddy, who is this lady?" "Lyra, this is Elara. She's my friend. She came to help when she heard you were sick." "Hello." "You're very pretty," the girl said, then added with childish frankness, "Do you have a daughter?" "Unfortunately, no. But I would really love to have a clever girl just like you." The girl leaned against her trustingly. Elara's heart melted. From that day on, their friendship began. They spent all their free time together. Elara couldn't imagine her life without Caleb and Lyra anymore, and they couldn't imagine it without her. The construction of the dream house was in full swing. A year later, "Guys, this isn't a house, it's a miracle," Leo exclaimed, standing on the terrace with a view of the river. "When are you moving in?" "When the time is right," Elara smiled, stroking her visibly rounded belly. Caleb gently hugged her. They got married 6 months after they met. Elara became a real mother to Lyra. The apartment situation was resolved. Thanks to the high salary Leo set for her, she was diligently paying off the mortgage. One day, while Caleb was away, Elara went for a routine checkup at the clinic. On her way out, she bumped into Adrian. He froze, seeing her, radiant and pregnant. "Hello." "That's none of your business. I heard you had a son. Congratulations. I have to go." He watched her go for a long time. That evening at home, he found Veronica demanding money for a new wardrobe. "Shut up!" he exploded. "You're not worth her little finger." The next day, he followed his wife. She didn't go to the shopping centre, but to a residential neighbourhood, where she entered a high-rise building with a child in her arms. In the evening, a young man saw her off, carrying the boy on his shoulders. Adrian's world collapsed. A few days later, he came to Elara. "I was a fool. I'm sorry. She lied to me. The son isn't mine. I've lost everything. Come back to me. I'll love your child as my own." Elara looked at him without hatred, with cold pity. "Now do you understand how I felt? Only I was faithful to you, and you destroyed everything yourself." The boomerang came back, Adrian. "I'm never coming back." At that moment, Caleb appeared in the doorway. "Darling, is everything all right?" He looked sternly at Adrian. "Leave. This apartment belongs to my wife." Adrian, crushed, turned and left. At the threshold, he turned back. "Forgive me, Elara. And you, take care of her. There's no one else like her." "Rest assured," Caleb replied coldly. "I won't let go of my happiness." 3 years passed. On the riverbank by the dream house, a cheerful group had gathered. Caleb and Leah were busy by the grill. Lyra was teaching her little brother Finn how to ride a bike, and Elara and Anya watched them from loungers. "I look at them and can't believe how happy I am," Elara said. "You deserve this," Anya replied. "Caleb is ready to move mountains for you." Elara watched her husband playing with the children, and her heart filled with quiet, overwhelming joy. She knew for sure life doesn't end. Sometimes at 40, it's just beginning.